Darth Vader, Sauron, Victor Maitland from Beverly Hills Cop, the D-Gens from Upcountry, Billie Eilish. All are some of the great bad guys of all time. But a real-life bad guy is out there that is terrifying in his own right. And I'm talking about somebody that the UN has attributed mass exterminations to, enslavement, political camp imprisonments, forced labor, and even taking out his own family members. And that is without mentioning his father's famine or his sister's marketing and PR of his dictatorship over the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. And of course, that bad guy that I'm talking about, Kim Jong Un, the supreme leader, a title he shares with Snoke from the newer Star Wars trilogy. And Kim Jong Un just became even better besties with our president, Donald Trump. And seriously, I wonder all the time if we're just being punked collectively as a country or globally. But no, sadly, this is real because Sunday night, the President of the United States, first of all, added a oddly placed question mark, in parentheses, into the middle of a sentence in Truth Social. He wrote the words, quote, while somewhat unrelated, then added a parenthetical question mark. I mean, look, we've seen this guy glitch at the podium, but now he's literally typing out his glitches. It's like a whole new ball game. It's almost like Joseph of Arimathea taking the time to carve out the castle of ugh. And yet somehow the self-documentation of his smoothing brain was like the fourth most alarming thing in this single Truth Social post. In this post, Donald Trump announces that the U.S. is scaling back its joint military exercises with South Korea, our treated ally of more than 70 years, all because this brutal fascist dictator from North Korea got his feelings hurt. And all of this is happening in a few-week span where North Korea incited flared-up tempers with 2 ballistic missile tests, one of them flying more than 400 miles, their 11th launch of a ballistic missile this year. Troops have been shipped off to fight for Putin against Ukraine. And then they put out a statement on Friday calling our training exercises, quote, a rehearsal for an aggressive war, end quote. And then they threatened real countermeasures. Oh, and we had an American general confirm that North Korea's ICBMs can now put a nuclear warhead anywhere in North America. So naturally, a strongman president like Donald Trump, he fought back against our ally, South Korea. Quote, based on my very good relationship with Kim Jong Un of North Korea, I am not happy with the fact that the United States has, long ago, agreed to participate in joint military exercises with South Korea. He says the drills send a hostile signal to a country that, as long as he has been president, has been, his words, unthreatening and respectful. I hate to say this, Mr. President, but when a regime is pretty much the enemy to everyone on the planet other than China and Russia, and when they're test-firing nuclear-capable missiles 11 times a year, they're not exactly being unthreatening, nor are they being respectful. Now, of course, Donald Trump has to admit that it's too late to cancel because the exercises already started on Monday. Which makes me wonder, with all of the terrible treatment of our sailors and our soldiers that's coming to light, and Donald Trump seemingly not being aware of our long-standing relationship with South Korea, even after serving as president for 5.5 years so far, what the hell is he paying attention to? I mean, we know the answer. It's all of his self-aggrandizement through remodeling and renaming monuments and theaters and ballrooms and airports. But in this instance, Donald Trump ordered his secretary of sweaty roid rage, allegedly, Pete Hegseth, to, quote, substantially reduce our joint exercises. And then let's get to that weird question mark. While somewhat unrelated, question mark, I recently asked the president of South Korea if they would like to join us in the denuclearization of the Islamic Republic of Iran, and they said, no thanks. So now it makes sense, right? We know exactly why Donald Trump is even more comfortable cozying up to one of the world's worst humans South Korea won't help him end this illegal, pointless, and thus far unwinnable war in Iran. And for you guys in the comments, when we see Donald Trump buddying up like this to extremist dictators like Putin or Kim Jong Un, all while he's forsaking our traditional allies, does that genuinely raise your overall concern for further destabilized peace globally? I mean, I am frightened. And I want to know what you guys think in the comments. Now, Donald Trump did also post an old photo of him and Kim Jong Un with the caption, "Despite the unfriendly look in this particular picture, there were many where we're smiling. Kim Jong Un and I get along great." Like he's talking about his ex-girlfriend that he still pines over. It's just bizarre. And so, we're clear, by the way, South Korea and all of this Iran business, they have been helping supply the Middle Eastern countries that are under fire from Iran. Saudi Arabia and the UAE have bought arms from South Korea. While North Korea, they've been credited with helping Iran develop their nuclear weapons program, even helping build the very underground nuclear facilities that we allegedly want to or may have already destroyed. So, North Korea, they've played a major role in creating the exact thing that we are allegedly trying to stop Iran from doing. And they have even supplied Iran with missiles, which Iran has used to develop their own munitions, which are being fired at American troops. Make it make sense. I mean, I guess this must be more of that 4D chess that everybody keeps talking about that Trump plays. And of course, before all of this North Korea nonsense, the polls continue to show exactly how unpopular Donald Trump is. And these numbers are going to go down with all of this news, I assure you. Because the most recent survey put out by The Economist and YouGov has the president's approval rating at 33%, which is still insanely high to me. I don't understand the third of a country that still supports this asshole. But 62% of the country disapproves of the Trumpster fire himself. And then when you look at a Quinnipiac poll, they show virtually the same numbers when it comes to Americans and their view on the Iran war. 34% somehow still supporting it. How? And yet 60% oppose the Iran war right now. And oh, I almost forgot. In that region, we just pulled our last aircraft carrier out of Asia, the USS George Washington. It was sent to go relieve the USS Abraham Lincoln, the one that Donald Trump and Pete Hegseth swear is just fine, despite all of the desperate text messages from family members showing horrid conditions aboard. Are you guys tired of all this winning yet? Look, we've turned our back on South Korea, Canada's getting tariffs, NATO's getting lectured and threats to take Greenland, while every dictator gets the long-lost pen pal treatment. Why do you think that is? What is it that this man is afraid of, or more importantly, hungry for, that makes him behave like this? I have an idea, and it involves setting up the Trump family to rule for life. And that's why I'm going to ask that you subscribe to the Ring of Fire, because we are watching very closely as Trump's alleged dementia could start World War III. But this time, we'd be on the bad guy side.